Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to unlock some of nature's biggest secrets. We're heading out on an adventure to discover the absolutely incredible survival tricks. I'm talking real-life superpowers that plants and animals use every single day.
I mean, really, have you ever stopped to think about it? How in the world do they do that? It seems kind of impossible, doesn't it? A fish spends its entire life underwater and never needs to come up for air? And a cactus, it just chills out in the hottest, driest places on Earth like it's no big deal.
Well, you guessed it. The secret is they all have these special features that are basically real-life superpowers. These powers help them become the heroes of their own environments, and we're about to find out exactly what they are.
Now, there's a cool science word for these superpowers. It's called adaptation. And adaptation is any special feature that helps a plant or animal live successfully in its home, or what we call its habitat. And if you remember one thing today, remember this. Adaptation is the key to survival.
Okay, first up, let's put on our imaginary scuba gear. We're diving deep to explore our first challenge, the water world. How do you possibly survive when you're completely surrounded by water all the time?
So, water plants have two main strategies. Over on the left, you've got Team Float. Plants like the water hyacinth have these spongy stems filled with air. They're like built-in life jackets that just keep them bobbing on the surface. Then on the right, you've got Team Anchor. Plants like the lotus dig their roots way down into the mud, but they send up these super long stems so their leaves can float on top and get all that sunshine. Two totally different but brilliant game plans.
Okay, so the plants have it all figured out. But what about all the animals swimming around them? They need a whole different set of tools to really master life underwater.
You know, a fish is perfectly designed for the water. Its body is shaped just like a rocket. We call that streamlined, so it can slice through the water super fast. It doesn't have lungs, it has gills, which magically pull oxygen right out of the water. Its fins, they work just like a boat's rudder, letting it steer anywhere it wants. And maybe the coolest part? It has this little internal balloon, an air bladder, that it can fill with air to float up or empty to sink down. How amazing is that?
All right, time to dry off. We're heading to one of the toughest places on the entire planet, the dry desert. This is survival on hard mode for sure.
So here's a challenge for you. Just imagine, you're in a place where the sun is blazing hot and there is almost zero water to be found. What kind of superpowers would you need just to get through the day?
This chart really shows the genius of a desert expert like a cactus, especially when you compare it to a garden rose. See, a rose has big, wide leaves that lose a ton of water, but a cactus, its leaves are tiny spines to stop water loss. And while a rose has a thin stem, a cactus has this thick, waxy stem that stores water like a personal water bottle. And its roots, they dig super deep to find every last drop.
When you think of desert animals, there's one that stands out above all the rest. The undisputed champion, the master survivor, often called the ship of the desert. Yep, it's the camel.
And just check out this list of superpowers. Camels can drink a huge amount of water in just a few minutes, and they barely even sweat, which saves all that precious water. And get this, that famous hump? It's not for storing water, it's for storing fat. It's an energy pack. Plus, they have these wide, soft feet that act like snowshoes for the sand, and these crazy long eyelashes that work like built-in sunglasses to keep the sand out.
Okay, from the scorching desert, we're climbing way up to our next stop, the cold, snowy mountains. So, what kind of superpowers do you think you'd need to survive up here?
Have you ever noticed that trees in the mountains, like pine trees, are shaped like a cone? Well, that's a brilliant adaptation. That sloping shape lets all the heavy snow just slide right off, so the branches don't snap. And their leaves are like little needles, which not only saves water, but also helps the snow fall right through. It's the perfect design for a snowy home.
And the animals there are just as tough. Take the mountain goat. It's got a super thick fur coat to stay warm, and these amazing hooves that are strong and grippy, letting them climb up crazy steep, rocky cliffs without ever slipping. Talk about a daredevil.
So for our final stop, we're not even looking at a place on the ground. We're looking up at the sky itself. It's time to explore the incredible superpower of flight. So how does a bird actually fly? Well, it's kind of like a four-part secret. First, just like a fish, they've got that streamlined, rocket-shaped body to cut through the air. Second, their arms evolved over time into powerful wings.
Third, and this is mind-blowing, their bones are hollow, which makes them incredibly light. And finally, they have these super efficient lungs with extra air sacs to grab as much oxygen as possible. That gives them the energy they need to soar through the sky.
Wow, what an adventure, right? From the bottom of the ocean to the hottest deserts to the highest mountains and way up into the sky. Let's do a super quick recap of all the amazing adaptations we just learned about. So the biggest thing to remember is that every single living thing has special superpowers or adaptations to help it thrive. We saw how desert plants are total experts at saving water, how mountain trees have that perfect snow-proof shape, how a fish is built like the perfect underwater vehicle, and how a bird is basically a lightweight flying machine.
And now, I've got a final challenge for you. The next time you're outside, maybe in a park or even just looking out your window, I want you to look closer. What kind of superpowers can you spot? What special tricks do the squirrels, the birds, and even the weeds in the sidewalk have to help them survive? The adventure is literally everywhere you look.